Hi everyone, welcome back to another fun session of art appreciation. Today we're going to explore a topic that gives meaning to every artwork we see, the subject and content. Now, before we get too serious, I want you to think about this. When you look at a painting or sculpture or simpling digital artwork, what's the first thing you notice? Maybe it's a person, di ba? Or a landscape, or even something abstract that makes you go, ano bang, parang something like, hmm, what does that mean? Ano bang gustong ipahiwatig nitong artwork na to? Well, that's something you're seeing. That's what we call the subject of art. Okay, so bago muna ang lahat, okay, pag-usapan muna natin yung ating uh, objectives. Okay, because at the end of this lesson, you will be able to differentiate subject from content, classify artworks according to subject, analyze how artists presents their subjects in relation to the real subject, and last, you're going to characterize sources and kinds of art. Okay, so let's talk about the definition of subject. It refers to what the work represents. It can be representational or objective arts and non-representational or non-objective arts. In art, representational art shows images that we can easily recognize, katulad na lamang ng mga tao, okay, mga bagay, or kahit anong madali natin ma-recognize. And this image don't have to look exactly like real life, but they should still be something we can identify. For example, ito na lang artwork ni Van Gogh, The Sunflower, di ba? It's a great example of representational art kasi you can clearly see the flowers, di ba? Even though Van Gogh used bright colors and thick brush strokes, di ba? And it's still easy to tell what you're looking at. Kasi itong sunflower ni Van Gogh, it is a monochromatic art. Okay? Monochromatic, okay. So, natapos na tayo sa topic na yun about monochromatic art, di ba? And representational art, on the other hand, has actually been around for a very long time because even early humans made cave paintings of animals like bison and bulls, di ba? Best example nito ay yung Lascaux cave paintings, di ba? Na pinag-usapan natin during the art history. And that's already representational art. Then later on, artists like Vincent van Gogh continued this tradition, creating works where the subject is clear and recognizable. And now we have non-objective or abstract art. This type of art doesn't show anything we can easily recognize because it doesn't try to look like the real world. Instead, it's all about shapes, lines, and colors. And one famous example is itong nakikita natin sa ating screen, itong Composition 8 by Kandinsky. Okay. Uh, if you look at it, you won't see any familiar objects, right? Because it's just a mix of forms and colors expressing emotions and ideas. And abstract art became popular in early 1900s when artists wanted to focus more on feelings and concepts rather than painting realistic scenes. Okay, next. And now let's discuss the different sources of subject in art. Okay, first we have nature. The nature is a popular source of subject matter in objective art. And some artists often draw inspiration from mountains, trees, animals, landscapes, seascapes, and cloudscape. Okay, and for example, itong painting ni Ricky Francisco, the seascape painting, which beautifully captures the ocean. And itong random na picture or tree sculpture na nakuha ko lang sa Google. Okay, so it brings some natural world to life in 3 dimensions. Okay, and nature inspired art ay it helps us appreciate the beauty and complexity of our surrounding, di ba? Kasi siyempre, lalo na kung mahal nature lover ka, tapos artist ka pa, siyempre kadalasan sa mga subject mo ay related sa nature, di ba? Pwede yung mga puno, Or sino dito mahilig sa sunset? Yung tipong kapag pinag-painting kayo, ang una mong gagawin, sunset. Or kaya naman yung bundok na may palayan sa ilalim. Okay? So, ganito mga example ng ah, nature. Okay? Then next, people, ayan, okay. Sabi dito, human subjects, whether real or imagined, are most interesting subjects. Okay. How people are depicted can offer clues to artist thoughts, moods, and genre the artwork is presenting. Work can range from a single subject to a group. They can be in a perpetual pose or performing tasks of everyday life. Okay, for example, itong sculpture of people, ayan. So, ito ay random picture lang naman na nakuha ko sa Pinterest. And then, itong painting of a woman. Okay? Then next, we have the history. It's a basically the depiction of real events that happened in the past. And the goal is to either help us remember important moments from long ago or to teach us valuable lessons from history. For example, itong The Making of Philippine Flag by Amrosolo. Okay. This painting shows three women, namely Marcela Agoncillo. Siya yung nasa right side. And kinoconsider siya as uh, Mother of the Philippine Flag, okay? Na kasama niya sa paghahabi nung flag ay sina Lorenza and Delfina Herbosa de Natividad. And si Delfina is actually the daughter of Marcela. And they was tasked by General Emilio Aguinaldo na tahiin itong Philippine flag for the new republic. Then ito, pinakasikat na monumento, which is the Bonifacio Monument na makikita natin sa Caloocan. Okay? It is a memorial monument in Caloocan which was designed by national artists. Walang iba kundi si Guillermo Tolentino to commemorate the Philippine revolutionary Andres Bonifacio. Siya yung si Andres Bonifacio, 'di ba, siya yung founder and supremo ng Katipunan who fought for the independence from colonial rule by Spain during those times. Then next, legends. Okay. Legends are traditional stories that reflect culture and imagination. Although not proven true, they inspire artworks filled with symbolism and creativity. For example, itong Excalibur. Okay. Ito yung, may kwento itong Excalibur na to eh. Pero saka na lang natin siya pag-usapan. And then, itong Malakas at Maganda. Okay. It is a Philippine uh, legend, okay, na sila ay nanggaling sa loob ng kawayan dahil tinuka ng isang bird or ng legendary bird. Okay, next, religion. Okay, religion has always been a major source of artistic inspiration. Okay, actually ito ay sikat during the medieval times. Okay, yung tipong laging about sa religion yung or sa church yung subject ng mga artworks, 'di ba? And artists express their faith through visual representations of sacred stories, okay? Especially sa mga Bible, sa Quran, ganyan, sa Torah, ng Judaism, and so on. Okay? So, example nito ay yung The Last Supper. So, alam naman natin kung ano yung kwento behind this painting, di ba? And then, the painting of Buddha. Next, mythology. Okay. Sa mythology, okay, sabi, yung mga mythological subjects are based on the stories of gods and goddesses from ancient civilizations. So meaning to say, ah, yung mga subject dito, pwedeng mga goddesses from Greek mythology, or kaya naman from Rome mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, and so on. Okay? Then next, ito yung mga example ng mythology, yung head of Medusa na ah, parang kailan lang ay na-discuss natin, 'di ba? Yung sinumpa siya ni Athena, tapos naging monster. Okay, tapos pinutulan siya ng ulo. Nakalimutan ko kung sinong pumutol ng ulo niya. Percy Jackson ba? Okay. Then next, Ay hindi si Percy Jackson, si ano yun, yung isa, nakalimutan ko, yung demigod din. And next, itong sculpture of Horus. Okay, then next, dreams and fantasy. So this type of art expresses the wonder of the unconscious mind of a person. And these artworks often reveal hidden meanings or deeper emotions that are not immediately obvious. So through this kind of subject, artists or yung artists um, turn their thoughts, dreams, and imagination into something we can see and try to understand. It's like giving shape to what's inside the mind, like making the unconscious, of course, to be visible. Okay, and next example ng dreams and fantasy, itong kay Salvador Dali. Ayan, the persistence of memory. So the melting clock can represent how time feels distorted in dreams or memories. Okay, and next, itong Son of Man by Rene Magritte. Okay, uh, ah, parang nire-remind lang tayo na that there's always more to people than what we see on the outside. The next, technology. Modern artists are what do we call this? Are inspired by the advancement of the modern world, like skyscrapers, itong robots, ayan, yung mga airplanes, cars, ships, motorcycles, and so on. Okay, and this subjects shows how technology influences our lives and the future. For example, itong motorcycle is solid in speed. Okay, it's a painting, and itong Eternal Interplay by Elena Krauts. Okay, ito yung nakita ko lang naman sa Pinterest. Okay, so next, let's talk about the different ways of representing the subject, because artists have unique ways of presenting their subject. So let's go over some of the most recognized art style and movements. First, we have the naturalism. Okay, in Greek art, or yung tinatawag na Hellenistic, ayun, Hellenistic, okay. Huwag niyo kakalimutan yung term na yan. Yung Hellenistic art, ayan, ito yung gods and heroes look and behave like humans. Ayan, mga statues, yung mga paintings. And this style aims to represent subjects realistically based on human experience. For example, itong kay Venus de Milo, diba? So, kung titingnan natin siya, observe natin siya, sobrang detailed niya na parang totoong tao talaga. Okay, yung itsura niya, yung hubog niya, yung bawat curve ng katawan niya, yung ang kulubot, ayan. So, parang taong-tao talaga. So, gano'n 'pag sinabi nating naturalism, okay. Then next, realism. Sa realism naman, madaming nalilito diyan, eh, sa naturalism and realism. Pero in realism, it's just depicts subjects as accurately and objectively as possible. Kumbaga, pino-portray niya lang yung subject as it is, gano'n siya. And artists aim to portray the truth without idealizing rather, or exaggerating the scenario, gano'n. Next, abstraction. Ito yung pinakasikat sa lahat, yung abstraction. And abstraction means to move away or separate from reality. And the artist focuses more on form, color, and emotion rather than accurate depiction. And there are four forms of abstraction. First, mangling, ayan. When we say mangling, it is a drastic deformation to show emotion or tension. Then, ang goal din kasi ng mangling is papangitin yung subject. Yes, okay. Parang gawin siyang pangit. For example, yung ilong lalagay sa noo, or kaya naman yung tawag dito, yung basta ang goal niya papangitin lang talaga yung subject. Okay? Or nakakatakot. Okay, so ganun ang mounting. Then next, cubism. Okay, it uses geometric shapes like cubes, ayan, cone, cylinder, square triangle, to form the subject. Okay, one of the most famous artists of this abstract. Okay, walang iba kundi si Pablo Picasso. Okay, siya yung pinaka-famous ng Cubism, si Pablo Picasso. The next distortion, it is a twisting or altering the natural shape of the subject. So meaning to say, the subject is misshapen or twisted out. The next elongation, it is a stretching figures to emphasize movement or race. Ganun. For example, yung leeg papahabain or kaya naman yung arms i-stretchin. Ganun siya. Ganun pag sinabing elongation. Okay? Kumbaga, from the word itself lang, elongation. Okay? Stretching. The next symbolism, okay? A symbol represents an idea or quality. Okay, ganun daw ang symbolism. And then, um, symbolism in art invites viewers to interpret deeper meanings behind visible images. For example, itong Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. So, her mysterious smile symbolizes calmness and mystery. Okay, then next, Fauvism, okay. It was originated from France, okay? And Fauvism means wild beast. And artists use vivid and unnatural colors to express emotion rather than reality. Okay? And goal kasi ng Fauvism is to uh, para lang maka-feel ng comfort, joy, and pleasure. And then, gumagamit ng matitingkad na kulay bilang kung ano yung, for example, kung ano yung kulay ng isang subject in reality, hindi susundin yun ng artist. Ang gagawin ng artist, gagamit siya ng mas matingkad na color. For example, itong Cat with Red Fish by Henry Matisse. Sa tunay na buhay, there's no such yellow cat, right? Wala namang dilaw na pusa. Ano kasi Pikachu? Okay. So, naging Pokemon ka. So, pero sa Fauvism, posible siya. Okay? So, ganun ang nangyayari sa Fauvism. Okay? Next, basta Fauvism, gumagamit ng matitingkad na color. Okay? Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin ng gumamit ng matingkad na color is Fauvism na. Okay? Kasi minsan, yung iba ay gumagamit ng matingkad na color, pero ang dinedepict ng image ay galit or kaya naman lungkot. Ganun siya. Pero sa Fauvism kasi, gumagamit ng matingkad na kulay, okay, to show comfort, gano'n, to feel joy, and of course, yung sinabi ko kanina, pleasure. The next Dadaism, ito, ang one of the most controversial ways of presenting art because it is an art movement that started as a form of protest. Okay? Bakit siya naging protest? So ganito siya. It's a playful experimental and often doesn't make much logical sense. And that's actually the point of the Dadaism. And the word dada means hobby horse in French, which already hints at its random and childlike nature. Kasi ang goal talaga ng Dadaism is to provoke public, ganun, to annoy public. Kasi ah, ang ano kasi, ang mga ano kasi, the artists kasi, they wanted to challenge society's norms and make people think. So, one of the most famous the artist nga pala is si Marcel Duchamp, who created works meant to shock and provoke viewers like his Fist Fountain, which is literally a urinal, di ba? Okay. Di ko nga alam kung saan niya nakuha yan. Parang binili niya lang ata sa hardware. Tapos, dinisplay sa isang art gallery. So, syempre yung mga tao, yung public, nagulat. Anong ginagawa ng urinal dito sa art gallery? So, ganun lang siya. Kasi, ang Dadaism kasi, it shows that art can be rebellious, humorous, and even absurd, but still powerful enough to make us question what art really is. Okay, kasi nga 'di ba yung art subjective kasi siya. Yung iba pwede siyang gawing katatawanan lang or kaya naman yung iba talagang ah, yung mga ibang artist passionate talaga sila. Okay, passionate talaga nila yung paggawa ng art. Because art is really ano talaga siya, it's really subjective. Okay, it depends on how you uh, take the concept of art. Diba? Okay? Then next, futurism. Okay, futurism. These artworks capture the speed and force of the modern industrial society. For example, itong Italian Futurism by Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. Okay, then next, surrealism. Okay, this refers to an invented word for super realism. So it emphasizes the activities of the subconscious mind and attempt to show man's inner mind and how he may perceive his outside world. For example, itong picture ng isang tenga na may mata doon sa loob. So ano kayang dinedepict ng paint ng drawing na 'to? Okay, so yung pagiging tsismosa. Okay, yung tipong, ah, parang nakikita mo na kung ano yung pinapakinggan mo, gano'n siya. Okay, may mga mata ang tenga, kumbaga gano'n yung konsepto. Next, expressionism. Okay, sa expressionism naman, okay, sikat ay itong The Scream by Edvard Munch. Okay, so it depicts the emotion aroused by objects and events, and subjects presented involve chaos, sadness, tragedy, and defeat. Basta kapag yung isang artwork nagpapakita ng expression, okay, ayun agad yung mga highlight. Uh, Pwede natin siyang i-consider as expressionism. Okay? So, and that's the last type of piece of presenting art. And now let's move on. Okay, let's discuss the next, content in art. Okay, so as discussed earlier, subject and content are two different things, di ba? So while the former refers to the objects illustrated by the artist, okay, yung content naman, it refers to what artist expresses or communicates in his artworks as a whole. And sometimes it is referred to as the meaning. Ayan, meaning of of a work or an artwork rather. And in literature, it is called the theme naman. Okay? In fact, it could be defined as the statement we apprehend or the feeling or mood we experience with a work of art. Okay, which indicates the what of an artwork, and content reveals that attitude of the artist toward his subject. And it is very important to note that one does not always see the content. However, it is conveyed by the way the subject and I mean uh, the, uh, the subject and form interact together in an artwork. So of course, it would be easier to fully grasp the content of an artwork if it shows an explicit subject matter as compared to those in abstract arts. Okay, so we have different kinds of content in art. First, we have the factual meaning. When we say factual meaning, this is the literal statement or the narrative content in the work, which can easily be captured because the objects represent, because the objects presented are effortlessly recognized because of the identifiable forms in the artwork. And this meaning is often complemented by other levels of meaning. Then next, the conventional meaning. So this refers to the special meaning that a certain object or color for a particular culture or group of people. For example, the flag, 'di ba, is the given symbol for a nation. Okay? Then yung cross is always symbolize the Christianity or the Christian faith, while the wheel is kung familiar kayo sa wheel na usually ang sinisimbolize ay yung Buddhist symbol, okay, for the teachings of Gautama Buddha. And last but not the least is the subjective meaning. Okay, lagi natin sinasabi yan, that art is always subjective, the content of art is always subjective, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Because subjective meaning, okay, it denotes any personal meaning consciously or unconsciously conveyed by the artist using a private symbolism, which stems from his own association of certain objects, action, or pwedeng color with relate connected sa or related naman sa past experiences, di ba? And this can be fully understood only when the artist himself explains what he really means. As in the case of the poems, ayan, okay, well, hindi ko pala nailagay dito yung, wait lang. Okay, so ayan, as in the case of the poems of T.S. Eliot, where he provides footnotes, then otherwise, it tends to be interpreted differently by, of course, natin or reader who may see it in the light of his own interpretations or and associations, di ba? Okay, so okay, to summarize our discussion, okay, ano lang ba sinasabi ng topic natin for today? Okay, that na there are artworks that are difficult to understand. No one actually can be expected to understand without effort and studying the meanings of many works of arts, especially those works about religion and mythology. And next to fully grasp, wait lang, inuubo ako. uh, to, to fully grasp the content of works of art. And one must learn as much as he or she can about the culture of the people that produce them and maintain an open mind in considering various options to the appreciate and interpret art. Okay, so meaning to say, ang subject and content is all about identifying non identifying representational and representational art and how an artist choose his or subject in different sources. Okay? So, napag-usapan din natin kanina yung mga nature, ayan, religion, and so on. And of course, ang bawat art, meron iba't iba silang meaning. Okay? So, meron tayong subjective, ayan, content, and so okay, so that's all for today. And next discussion, we're going to explore the different artists and of course their chosen mediums. Okay, and in that lesson, we're also going to explore the creation process, the two-dimensional visual arts, and the three-dimensional visual arts. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much. Okay.